Hello and welcome everyone and welcome to our Outtalks. Yan, kung nagtatanong po kayo kung ano ang Outtalks, this is AKF's digital platform, no, to talk about animal welfare, animals, animal welfare laws, or anything about animals, and of course, what AKF has been doing or is going to do in relation to its program. And because the month of April is the World Veterinary Day, we are celebrating this very special occasion with one of our very, very special friend. Ito po mga veterinaryo kasi ay superhero po na ng ating mga fur babies, kaya po inimbita po natin ang walang iba kung hindi si Dr. Ray Del Napoles. Hi, Dr. Ray! Kumusta ka na? I know, you've been very busy. I know that you've been doing a lot. So,
much, occupied my time. Lahat tayo, I think, na-busy tayo. And it's just appropriate na mag-usapan natin, ano pa tayo? Ano na may kasunod na program?
Tamang ka dyan. Alright, naku, Doc Ray, no? Alam ko lagi tayong magkasama. So, parang hindi ako surprised na kasama ulit kita today. But, considering also yung mga ang dami-dami mong activities na ginagawa, and all the things that you have been doing for animal welfare. Kumusta ka naman na?
What a question. Kumusta? But yeah, as a person, I think, hindi tayo napapagod on what we're doing kasi this is what we love to do. Animal protection has been something na nasa vocabulary talaga natin. I think, it's a surprise, Heights. Promise that, nabigla na ako na I got involved in animal protection. That was early 2000. That's when we first met.
Yes, exactly.
Ano lang yun, parang just because I was the president of an association, and then when I started attending those regular meetings, there's so many things na pwede pa na ma-involve in veterinarian. And yun na. Whirlwind that.
Yeah, I know. I remember, no, when we first met, it was funny, guys, no, because Doc Ray was talking to me in Cebuano. And I said, what the? Hindi naman ako Cebuano. Pero because I can understand it a bit, so I just replied to him. So all those years, akala niya Cebuano ako. So Doc Ray, tinigwang ka na dito sa animal welfare, no? And you've also been renowned, veterinarian in the Philippines. Siguro ako, having been to your position right now, I think the most relevant question to ask, no, this will be very inspiring also to our audience, is what made you want to become a veterinarian in the first place?
That's a very challenging question kasi at first, I would always tell everyone, it's not my choice kasi I really wanted to be a human doctor. My aunt was the person who encouraged me to take up veterinary med. But, looking back, the calling has been there. I grew up with my great-grandfather, Fush.
Oy, di ba? Yan ang mga, yan ang pagkausap mo si Doc Ray. There's so many meaningful experiences that he can share with us, not just personal, no. That's also the reason why I love this guy, because his profession came out not because alam mo yung shallow, no. So there's always deeply rooted meaning in everything that he does, and I think that's where the passion comes from. Sorry, Doc Ray, may medyo wala pa akong tanong yan. Isa pa lang ang question ko, please.
So my great-grandfather, I grew up in the southern part of Cebu, and si Lolo has taught me to value the animals, the farm animals primarily. Meron siyang kalabaw na consider niya as a family member. Every late night or early morning, magko-call out siya just to check kung buhay pa yung alaga niya. And then, I grew up as a sickly child. So, back then, palagi sinasabi ng mga pedya, bawal daw ako for animals kasi may asthma daw ako. So wala kaming aso, wala kaming pusa. Growing up, bawal.
Wow.
So my grandfather thought of something for me. He gave me turtles.
Oh, wow.
So
Really?
yan doon nag-umpisa yung passion ko for reptiles. So I had turtles as my first pet. And then, I got disconnected na nung nag-elementary, high school. My father was a dog person. I think to a certain time, 20 dogs.
Oh, you had 20 dogs at home? Wow, that's a lot.
And
No?
my mom has been screaming to the top of her lungs, tama na, ayoko na magkalaga, and she's scared of puppies.
So that road, no, I mean that family background, was that the reason that you really opted or that you were pushed to become a veterinarian?
Not really. I would say si tita ang nag-push sa akin to take up veterinary med. But I also would attribute this sa mga friends ko, mga batchmates ko na in-encourage ko to take the admission exam. And comedy. Kasi, when we took the admission exam, I aced the admission exam. And the expectation was there already na I will continue the program kasi nakatap ako sa admission exam. So, yun. That was the primary pressure talaga yung mga kaibigan ko. And I'm so thankful. You know who you are. I'm so proud of you guys. I'm so thankful na pinush niyo ako.
Okay, fast forward, Doc Ray, no? What do you think was the most challenging part in your profession as a veterinarian? I mean, you've been to everywhere, no? Not just in the Philippines. You've been also a country director by one international animal welfare NGO here in the Philippines, and you've traveled a lot. You've done a lot of animal welfare programs, and of course, you have your veterinary practice. Then, what was or is, I don't know, the most challenging experience or that thing that made you really say that this is me, I have to push?
Oh, yeah.
Grabe lalim na mga questions ko, guys. But, we're trying to really pick on Dr. Ray because ayun na nga ako. I'm just really also an idol of this very passionate guy.
Yeah, challenging. I think the most challenging role I've done is to lead the disaster response. I think until now, Yolanda has been a haunting experience for me. The experience to walk through cadavers, humakbang na mga patay, unconscious ako na merong, habang nag-video shoot ako, meron palang kamay ng tao na nakapusli sa ibabaw ng mga basura. So, mahirap siya on my end to get over with kasi Yolanda has been considered to be one of the world's worst disaster imaginable, and to be there on ground zero 4 days after the day na nag-resume yung flight has given me the insight of what really took place. And then wala akong exit plan. That was really the worst thing to happen.
Yeah.
Hindi, ang thinking ko is like, merong mobile network pa. So, ang thinking ko is
zero.
Yeah. So, hindi ko siya napag-aralang mabuti, and I got stuck on the ground with my team, nag-iikot, providing veterinary care, and then it dawned on me, kailangan ko na mag-retract kasi yung team ko na-drain na emotionally, kailangan naming lumabas na.
Yeah. I know that the Haiyan typhoon emergency experience was really bad, no? Actually, that dapat may segue ako dyan eh. Inunahan mo ako, Doc Ray eh. Di ba? But anyway, ayun na nga eh. Parang, it's good that you mentioned, because I know that that experience until now is haunting you. We did the Taal volcano emergency response together way back in 2020. my question is, how is the Taal volcano different in terms of strategies and experience and with or from that Hanay Hayan emergency response that you did?
Ang Taal kasi, I think that pareho tayo nung time na yun, we were surprised na out of nowhere, ang daming veterinaryong nag-volunteer for the first time sa disaster responses na ginawa natin. Because like there were several disasters pa after Tacloban, meron pa mga maliit na disasters.
Mayon, we did Mayon.
Ang hirap na mag-mobilize ng vets, or maybe because hindi nila alam kung ano yung pwede nilang maitulong. But when Taal happened, na-overwhelmed tayo sa dami ng vets. Like, gusto sumama sa atin on the ground.
And I was so happy with the response because when we did the appeal, diba, on the second day of the eruption and we started organizing the team, no, even the LGU at that time, parang we practically made the organization a contact center, no? And I would like to shout out to Isay out there, no, for leading our contact center. No, calling on, organizing the volunteers, it was really, really very good. It seemed like surreal. Kasi nga, ito sinasabi ni Doc Ray sa atin, no, based from his experience, this is the first time that we had an overwhelming number of veterinarians as volunteers. No, yung mga NGOs and of course individual volunteers or rescuers, parang expected yan. Pero yung veterinarians, Doc Ray.
Yes. Like, sinamasan yung mga friends natin. Gusto nila, ang tanong nila is, what can we do to help? So, alam mo yung, it was so touching for us kasi dati ako lang yun.
Sasabihin ko sana dati-dati, dadalawa lang tayo, Doc Ray.
Yeah, wala yung vet and I have to call up friends in the locality na pupunta ako dyan, mag-relief operation, baka pwede kayo tumulong. So, alam mo minsan sa pilitan or the pipilitan. But this time, eto yung moment na gusto natin makita na nandiyan sila.
Correct.
And they were so happy to join the team, nag-distribute ng food.
At saka walang pagod-pagod, walang hiya-hiya, walang arte-arte.
Correct. And to think of this are the who's
who in the veterinary industry. Exactly. So,
may-ari ng mga kanya-kanyang malalaking practices, bumaba at nag-volunteer ng time, expertise, and resources. Nila.
My God.
Kasi like, di ba, isa doon nag-put up ng veterinary clinic.
Yes, my gosh. Thank you so much there, Dr. Marga. Yes. That was really a very, very good initiative for you, and thank you for helping our rescues at that time.
Well, let's not forget the vets love nature.
Oh yes.
God, these people, walang kapaguran na may sumasabit na sa sasakyan para lang makapag-provide ng veterinary care. So, nandyan na yung ng gamot ng sugat, nagtugas ng sugat. Si Doc Rina, let's not forget her. Nagpala ng tae ng baboy dun sa baboyan in
Agoncillo.
So, alam mo yung wala sa atin at that time na sino ako.
Correct.
But rather what we can do to help dito sa disaster situation na to. And this is a very massive disaster talaga.
Correct. I would just like to share, no, yung nangyari dyan sa Boso-Boso, no, sa Batangas at that time. Di ba? We were just, looking, checking, kasi nga everyday tayo kumiikot dyan. And then I remember you and Doc Rina went down. Kasi you noticed, no, yung isang parang baboy coral na parang may shanty doon.
Yes.
And then you heard na mga, squealing na mga pinglets. So you went, oh my gosh, I'm just so proud of Doc Ray and Doc Rina at that time kasi talagang gumapang po sila sa putikan. Practically putikan because it was raining at that time, no? Gumapang kayo sa putikan and then
bumagsak na bubong.
Yes, gumapang sa bumagsak na bubong. We were not even mindful kung babagsak ba yun uli or something, and it was raining. So it's really overwhelming what these veterinarians can do for the animals. So, Doc Ray, pinag-uusapan natin itong profession bilang veterinaryo, pinag-uusapan natin yung contributions o yung kahalagahan nila. What else can you do? Kaya pa ba? Meron pa bang ibubuga? Meron pa bang ilalabas, Doc Ray?
Parang sinasabi in the conferences, sa mga talks where I get invited, let's not limit ourselves na manggamot lang. Kasi marami tayong pwedeng gawin. So, for instance, nandiyan na yun, pag-create na tayo ng mga vets na nagtitrain na rin ng ibang vets para maging kasama natin magkakapon, right? So, yun din, isa din yun sa mga pinagkaabalahan ko dun. When we established the international works dito sa Pilipinas, kapon lang yung tinutukan ko and rabies programs. And then, at that time, I earned the ire ng mga private vets kasi bakit ko pinopromote ang libreng kapon? Diba? Or murang kapon. Actually, libre kasi we were working with the government. Why are we encouraging the government vets na mag-provide ng libreng kapon? Dapat daw, bakuna lang daw ang government vets. Pero nowadays, it's something na naging institutional na sa mga government programs na may libreng kapon, may libreng bakuna, and then ang mga private vets are already contributing. They're volunteering their time para tulungan yung mga government vets natin. Kasi kadalasan ang mga government natin, mga LGUs natin, isang veterinaryo lang yan. Paano siya makapagkapon ng maramihan?
Oo, di ka kayanin yan.
I'm so thankful, si PAHA, the Philippine Animal Hospital Association, si Philippine Veterinary Medical Association supported me sa program na to. So we train vets. And ito yung mga na-train natin, ito yung mga volunteers natin. So Vets Love Nature, you know who you are. We
love you.
Proud of what you have been doing.
Yeah, I remember also, Doc Ray, and I think, you really deserve this title, I have always been telling our friends, self-made title ko lang yan para sa'yo. So, bahala yung iba kung type nila o hindi, but this is true, and this is based from my experience, When you were starting the training, for the spay and neuter training, for the LGUs, I know that you were asking me, I remember you asking me for help, kung paano natin ma-encourage yung mga LGU vets, na umattend ng training mo, which is really very useful. It's expensive actually if you take that abroad, and you're giving it for free. And parang di nila type. But now, fast forward, spay and neuter. Spay and neuter is a byword. It's already a government program, and as you said, the private practitioners are also jumping on this bandwagon. I can say that because people realizes the importance of spay and neuter. People realizes that this is something that we need to do, the veterinarians need to do, the community needs to do. So for me, gusto ko sana ikaw ma-recognized in the future as the father of spay and neuter in the Philippines.
Wow.
Pagkakampanyahin natin yan, Doc Ray, Ako parang, I know I don't know for others, but who started it anyway? You were the ones who started it.
Well,
what else, Doc Ray, Ito nga, nag-spay and neuter ka na, nag-emergency response ka pa, nagte-training ka pa, I understand, You also do some trainings here and there. And as tatanong ko nga kanina, meron pa ba? Ito nga, sabi mo, ang dami ko pang dapat gawin, marami pang kailangan. Doc Ray.
Molding the next generation, I think, is very important. And sa community naman natin, human behavior change.
Correct.
Yun yung mga gusto natin makita. When I was in the international works, I participated in a workshop for human behavior change. And, naniwala ko na yun yung pinaka-importante sa lahat. Pero to affect change, mabagal na proseso siya. Kasi, di ba?
Totoo yan.
Ang hirap magbago ng
kinagisnan ng matitigas na ulo ng mga Pilipino.
So like right now, you would not believe it. So last survey natin, 30% ng pet owners natin sa QC, naniniwala na kailangan nilang palabasin yung aso nila para tumae sa
Oh my
labas.
gosh.
So, di ba, not thinking na nag-i-initiate ito ng neighbor dispute, not thinking na pwedeng masagasaan ng fast-moving vehicles among others. So, yun yung kailangan nating ma-address sooner or later, yung human behavior change. And of course, huwag natin kalimutan yung mga bata.
Yes,
The
education.
younger generation, yung mga high school students na hindi nila alam na pwede palang maging veterinaryo.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh, we have a shortage of veterinary practitioners. So isa rin po call out ito during this veterinary World Veterinary Month, na parang, guys, kailangan po natin ng veterinaryo.
Kailangan namin na mas marami pang veterinaryo dahil dumadami po ang pet owners. Dumadami po yung nangangailangan po ng tulong sa pag-aalaga ng mga pets nila. So, kulang po kami ngayon.
Doc Ray, ano yung gusto mo sabihin sa ating mga veterinaryo, no? Kasi ikaw yourself is a volunteer of Animal Kingdom Foundation and you've been volunteering for AKF in whatever capacity you can contribute. Sa totoo lang, pag minsan, di ba, pag may mga activity tayo o pag wala namang masyadong veterinary assistance na kailangan, nagluluto ka pa para sa amin. Alam mo yon? Saan ka makakakita, ng ganitong klaseng tao? So, bakit ka ba nag-volunteer? No? Bakit mo ba gustong gawin ito? Can you share with us why? Bukod sa syempre, love mo ako, Doc Ray, but I know that it's not about me. Whether or not I'm here, I think you're going to volunteer. So why are you doing this?
At the end of the day, it's about fulfillment.
Bakit ka umiiyak?
It's not about money kasi. It's not about who you are.
I know.
It's what you can contribute to affect change.
That's true. That's why I really love you, Doc Ray. Kasi, sorry. Ay, nako, Doc Ray, di ako umiyak sa camera, please. But anyway, ayun na nga diba? Because you can see a lot of volunteers coming here and there. Sometimes some are just there for something. But this guy, a volunteer veterinarian at that, he's been doing this for us for free, out of really his love for animals. He gives whatever resources he has, his talent, sometimes his money, Kasi sometimes, diba, pag may lakad kami ni Doc Ray, and sasabihin ko sa kanya, Doc Ray, I don't think we have a budget for that. And he would just say, ako na yan, Heinz, ako na yan. Alam mo yun? And I think, alam mo yun, yung ating mga veterinary partners, yung mga friends natin, nahahawaan mo na Look, for example, Vets Love Nature. Yung ating mga friends dyan ng mga veterinaryo, kung sila ang kausapin mo, parang tunog mo na ikaw. Alam mo yun? Yung sinasabi mo, human behavior change, you're impacting to these people.
On the aspect ng veterinarians, I think the Vets Love Nature, sila yung nag-emulate ng call ko for human behavior change. The change on how veterinarians perceive volunteerism and how they perceive the need to support each other. Kasi back then, kanya-kanya mga vets
I remember.
Kanya-kanyang promote na kanya-kanyang practice. But now we have veterinarians na are bonding together for a common goal. And that's what we wanted to see, more of them. And I hope, actually, nag-evolve na tayo. Vets Love Nature and friends.
Kasi hindi ako veterinaryo, tas may mga iba pa kaming friends na hindi rin veterinarians.
Correct. Diba? And they're not members of the
Vets Love Nature.
So, then evolve this na. So, etong huling PVMA convention, the group was given recognition and they emphasized and friends.
And friends, yeah. Kasi alam mo ito yung dinidiscuss nga ni Doc Ray kanina na human behavior change. It starts within you.
And you affect others. mini-measure mo yung change na yun in a positive way. Like, ano yung nabago sa tao na to? So, sa pet owners, nandyan yung the goal natin sa human behavior change natin is, tama na yung kumuha ko ng aso para may tagabantay ng property ko. Tama na yung para may tagatahol.
Yes.
The worst is para tagakain ng tira. So, it's, we're done with it. Tama na. Dapat ang rason natin na kumuha tayo ng alagang aso is kailangan ko ng kayakap sa pagtulog. Kailangan ko ng katabi sa pagtulog.
Okay. Alam mo, napaka-emotional, no? Nitong usapan na ito. Alam mo, hindi ko nga alam na mapapaiyak mo ko. Slight lang kasi hindi ako umiiyak in public, o di ba? Pero ikaw, at least umiyak ka. Nalalaman natin ngayon, no, na sa Doc Ray pala marunong umiyak. Kasi matapang ito kung magpamaywang ito, grabe, di ba? Kasi nga, he exudes, no? He wants excellence. He wants perfection sa veterinary profession, sa practice, especially, no, sa animal welfare. Kasi ito nga tinatawag nga natin siyang ama, no, father of spay and neuter, and he's really been doing a lot to promote animal welfare. Alright, Doc Ray, no, naku, Diyos ko, napakadami nating nalaman tungkol sa buhay mo, di ba? At tungkol sa mga visions at saka mga contributions and what you have done, really. And ayun nga pinag-uusapan natin kanina that you have been volunteering, giving your services for free. I've seen personally your dedication there as a volunteer, not just for AKF, volunteer sa mga spay and neuter activities ng PAHA, ng PVMA, and even the Vets Love Nature, no, and friends, no. What can you give as an advice, no, to those who would want to be veterinarians in the future?
Well, palagi ko sinasabi, let's not be confined with what we learn in school, but instead, let's get in touch with the human side natin. Kasi at the end of the day, it's not just about, I want to be a veterinarian because I want to earn it, and knowing the pandemic has opened so many doors to mga vets. Lumakas ang veterinary practice during the pandemic kasi ang daming nag-take in ng bagong pets. Kaya ang daming mga vet clinics nag-open. It's not just about money at the end of the day. You also have to fill in the need na am I happy as a person? So, the fulfillment yun ating i-aspire. And siguro sa mga students na who would want to be vets, it's challenging. Hindi madaling maging vets, pero halos lahat kami, ganun din yung feeling namin. Nag-struggle kami na 6 years, iba pa sa amin 10 years bago namin natapos yung program. But pagpupursige lang, yun yung mahalaga. The challenge there is tayo lang yung unique na doktor.
Correct.
Kinakausap nga natin yung pasyente natin, pero hindi natin naiintindihan kung yung sagot nila o hindi nila na-explain sa atin kung ano yung nararamdaman nila. So, that, gives us this unique opportunity na paano manggamot without really communicating or without really, learning directly from the patient kung ano yung nararamdaman nila. So, it's not just about treatment na gusto mo magtusok ka agad. You will have to think beyond, what is given to you. So, that makes us a very unique. Kaya kung tanong kanina, bakit ako naging vet? Bakit hindi ko na pinurso ang human med? It's because na-realize ko, mas interesting maging veterinaryo at hindi lang isang species ang ginagamot ko. There are more. So, gaya po sa akin, nanggagamot din po ako ng sawa, pagong. So,
grabe.
Diba, you can be so diverse. I mean, you can go somewhere else. Nandyan yung environmental protection, nandyan yung wildlife protection, among others. You can be a wildlife vet. So, marami kang pwedeng pasukin as a veterinarian.
Question, Doc Ray, no? Kasi ito, sa experience ko to, ha, ang dami kasing mga vets ngayon that are going to do parang companion animal practice. ang main reason I think is mas lucrative ang practice, ano. And you mentioned, ang dami palang pwedeng puntahan na field of practice ng veterinarians. Sa tingin mo, how can we convince this young veterinarians that veterinary practice is not just for companion animals?
Well, una is like, ano ba talaga yung passion mo? That should be the starting point. As I've said, nandun ako sa program, doon ko na-realize na napakalaking contribution yung youth ko, yung pag-mold na grandfather ko, yung experience ko with my family na we had several dogs. Isa yan sa, I think, strong reason kung bakit ako nagpursige maging veterinaryo. So, if you want to be a vet, I mean, tingnan natin kung saan ka pwedeng mag-excel. So, it's not just companion. The pay may be good, pero kung stressful yet sa'yo, there are so many things na pwedeng gawin. Nandyan yung academe. So, if you'd like to train, you'd like to teach, ang dami pong open na opportunity sa academe right now. Ang dami pong vet schools na kulang ng mga teachers. So, consider that. Wildlife, iilan lang po ang vets na naggagamot ng wildlife. So, isa din yan sa mga pwede na pasukin. So, kung mahilig ka sa mga exotic animals, nandyan yung wildlife. Then, sa farm naman, kung mahilig ka sa farm animals, may kanya-kanya specialization to. May poultry,
yes, that's right.
ruminants. So, naging directed na yung profession natin right now. Hindi siya kagaya nun na pagkagalit mo, hindi mo alam kung saan ka pupunta. Ngayon po, directed na tayo.
At napakaganda, no? Kasi, I think also that ang dami nating naging improvement or development, no? Not just in the agricultural aspect, but also because of the integration of animal welfare to all aspects of animal handling.
Yeah, I forget to mention, pwede din sa kagaya ko, di ba? Is into the animal welfare.
Yes, animal welfare advocacy. We need veterinarians, my dear. So please, be a vet, enroll. Di ba? Biglang nag-announce tayo ng enrollment.
Kailangan natin ng vets. Kailangan natin ng mas marami pa pong tutulong po sa mga hayop kasi tayo lang po yun na mas nakakaalam kung ano magandang gawin para sa kanila.
Ayun. Thank you so much. No, napakaganda ng mga insights na yan at saka yung mga advices na yan, Doc Ray, no? So, maybe it's time naman to loosen up a bit. Let's try to be, to have fun. Kasi baka sabihin na, seryoso nitong dalawang to, Doc Ray. I'm going to ask you a question. So, ikaw pa rin ang tatanungin ko, di ba? And then, of course, you're going to answer whether it's true or false. But please, explain naman natin ang konti. So, Doc Ray, ito ang unang tanong. Pag maging vet ka daw or magiging vet ka, yayaman ka.
Well, kung yun ang dahilan mo, I think you're in the wrong profession. Kasi, as I've said, yung clinic ko has been there for more than 20 years. Marami pa rin kaming charity.
Oo nga, alam mo, hindi lang pala abogado at nang bibigay ng pro bono, no? I found out, ang mga vets natin nang bibigay din ng mga pro bono.
Correct, yung mga kaibigan natin, mga vets, I'm sure they can relate. Nandyan yung lalapit sa amin and makikikusap na gamutin yung alaga namin. And pasensya na, Doc, wala akong pambayad. You could not turn your head on that appeal. Kailangan mo kasi we're bound na mag-provide ng veterinary care, so ina-accept natin yun.
Tama nga.
Ikit mata yun minsan and then nandyan din yung tinatakbo.
Utangan na pala, napuputol din kayo, Doc. Marabi ha.
Ikaw rin basta nakakaalap.
Oo nga, ayaw. Oo nga, that's right.
Kami po ganun, pero that does not jade us from, that's not discourage us. Hindi tayo nawawala ng motivation na patuloy pa rin natin hiraan yung practice natin. Kasi nga, we want to help the animals.
Yeah, I think hindi kaya yaman to a perspective ng kayamanan na gusto mo in terms of monetary rewards. No? But you will be fulfilled because you've helped a lot of animals and pet owners or animal handlers or owners. I think yun yung overall fulfillment, Doc Ray, no? Katulad mo, di ba? Kahit na hindi ka masyadong mayaman, ikaw naman ay mayaman sa mga kaibigan at experience and wisdom. Doc Ray, sabi nila, ang mga pets daw, hates to go to a vet. Hate na hate daw nila ang amoy ng mga veterinaryo. Tama ba yun?
Well, totoo yan noon.
Oh.
Yan noon kasi the vets noon, hindi sila sensitive sa needs ng mga animals. Una-una yung amoy ng clinic. Hindi sa particular doon sa mag-disinfect or kung mag-disinfect naman, overrated sa disinfectants. So yung mga pets natin, pag naamoy yan, it creates a negative experience for them. So, gaya po ng pagtitrain ng aso, we have the positive training, di ba? Well, that's what we
Yeah.
So, positive training tayo, positive reinforcement. So, ganyan po ang mga vet clinics create that, positive experience din sa mga pets natin. Every time na pupunta sa vet clinic, bigyan niyo sila ng positive experience. So, paano? Bigyan ng treat. Every time magpabakuna, bigyan ng treat. And treat doesn't have, hindi naman siya kailangan na food. Pwede siyang tapik on the back, di ba? Or kamutin yung scruff. Para maalala ng pet na, teka, malambing pala yung vet ko.
Correct.
Meron akong reward for being a good dog or for being a good cat. So you create that positive experience. Kaya I don't think, if other vets would do the same, and I think yun yung campaign natin globally to create that positive experience. And if we're doing that, walang rason na matatakot yung pets. Just last night, I was watching a video. Ang cute. The doctor, nakatupo siya doon sa loob ng kulungan ng aso.
Oh my gosh!
Kasi yung aso was so scared at ayaw kumain. Bagong rescue, guess what kung anong ginawa niya para ma-encourage kumain yung dog? Kumakain siya from a dog bowl.
Sinabayan niya.
Inaabutan niya yung dog. So, na-break nila yung barrier of fear ng dog.
Alam mo, Doc Ray, no, pag minsan, I think that's a very good message and example, no? Kasi may mga, alam mo naman ngayon, no, na yung mga vets natin, hindi yan nakakawala sa mga online cyberbullying at bashing. They're so prone to that, no? Kaya parang, siguro hindi lamang yung tanong na takot yung pet pumunta sa vet. Baka pati yung owner ayaw pumunta sa vet kasi baka naman may bad experience, no?
Yes.
So siguro dapat din nating tingnan o iba palawig maybe, no? Yung ganyang klaseng human interaction, ano bang tawag natin dyan?
Human interaction, that positive experience.
Positive experience both for animals and the client.
Mahalaga yun. Kasi sabi ko nga sa Heights, when I started to practice, you are privy to this. Charmaine was one of my partners.
Hi, Charmaine, Arnaiz. Hello.
And Charmaine and I made a pact na we're gonna make the clinic accessible to all. And I'm so thankful na palagi nire-remind sa akin yan doon na, Doc, let's make the clinic accessible to all kasi ang mahal na ibang clinic, ang hirap.
Correct. Totoo yan.
So, hanggang ngayon, hindi na siya partner sa clinic, but Charmaine has always been there for me, for the practice, and even for AK.
Yes. She's our friend.
She's our partner sa advocacy natin. And I'm so thankful na palagi na nire-remind sa akin gaano kahalaga yung pag-alaga ng client. She's my former student and ngayon kliyente, and I'm looking forward na maging colleague. So palagi ko siyang ini-encourage na, let's push for educating others and making them understand na ang practice is not just about money.
Yes, correct.
It's about, providing care.
Yes. Kaya tayo pong mga veterinaryo dyan, hindi pala ako veterinaryo, naalala ko. Kayo po mga, I'm a year's doctor, so you can call me doctor now. Sabay ganun eh. But yes, for to our veterinarians out there, I think this is a good learning, no? From Dr. Ray na yung human interaction, a positive experience, gawin po natin yan sa ating mga clinic para ang ating mga pets hindi matakot pumunta sa vet. At pati ang clients, hindi rin matatakot pumunta sa vet, di ba? Doc Ray, sabi nila, hindi naman kasi kailangan pumunta ang mga pets, no, para magpa-check up taon-taon, or baka naman may mga home remedy dyan, di ba? True or false?
Yan yung mga pambibigat na questions sa amin malaki. Because of the bad experience they've had,
Yes.
and they have to tough up
So much.
for certain procedures, ayaw na nila pumunta. But I think pet owners should realize, hindi nagsasalita yung pets natin.
Oh, yeah, tama, no?
Hindi nagsasabi na may kumikirot po sa balakang ko, or meron akong dizzy spells every time na tatayo ako. So, paano namin yan na nakikita? It's only through running diagnostics. So, like nagba-blood exam tayo. So, mahalaga yung regularly na nakikita ng vet para pa naman monitor yung progression. Let's say, sinabi nyo, medyo hirap siyang tumayo pag umaga. Paano namin mamonitor yan kung ibabalik nyo after 6 months? So, kung sinabi po ng vet na, let's see each other every week, hindi po gusto namin maningin ng consultation every week. But gusto namin ma-monitor. So, pag sinabi niyo pong naglilip siya or meron pong namamaga sa balakang niya or sa hita niya, gusto namin makita na umimpis kasi gusto namin makita na tumalab yung gamot na binigay namin.
And that can only be seen, no, or identified kung pina-check up nga nila. Yun.
Isa dyan hides yung heart condition. Kaya may mga heart conditions natin, trial and error.
Oh, wow. So walang immediate diagnosis.
The diagnosis is difficult. Kailangan monitor natin constantly ang patient. The medication, yung pagkagamot mismo, is trial and error kasi minsan kailangan mas mataas na dosage. Kami conservative kami on dosaging.
Right.
So we start with small amounts muna. So kailangan namin makita, dadagdagan na ba namin ang dosage or magdadagdag pa kami ng gamot para makita yung effect. Huwag po kayo ma-frustrate na hindi tumalab kagad yung gamot on the first instance. Kasi minsan po, it will take a while or kailangan natin magdagdag.
Ito na nga, Doc Ray. Kaya nga yung susunod na tanong ko, true or false, mas mahal daw ang vet consultation or vet cost kaysa sa humans? True or false,
True, mahal yung diagnostics. The laboratories kasi po natin right now, medyo restricted tayo sa equipment. The equipment po kasi na investments ng clinic, million po pinag-uusapan.
Kaya naman medyo costly.
Medyo mahal. And then yung reagents po natin, medyo mahal din po. So, the reason for this po, we have to understand na magkakaiba po kasi ng cells.
Oh.
Oo, so yung red blood cell, the WBC, the white blood cell, magkaiba to ng structure kaysa tao.
So, hindi pwedeng gamitin yung human equipment sa veterinary equipment.
So, ito yung mga machine na to, designed for the animals talaga. For us na mapagbigay tayo ng accurate na diagnosis, kailangan design yung equipment natin for veterinary use. So, sinasabi na iba, mas mura ang CBC na pang-tao. Meron pa 50 pesos sa CBC for humans.
Oh my God, oo nga.
Ang sa hayop magkano, minimum of 500 pesos. So, times that kami. Sa totoo lang po, ang puhunan namin sa reagent per test hindi bababa ng 300 pesos.
Wow, no? And then, of course, you have the equipment.
Correct.
So, it justifies no, why veterinary consultation or tests are more expensive or mas mahal kaysa sa mga tao. Ay, ito, Doc Ray. Sinasabi kasi nila, sige na nga, ang mahal-mahal pala niyan. Natatakot naman pumunta yung aso ko dyan, yung gano'n. Anyway, true or false? Wala naman daw pakiramdam yung mga hayop na yan or yung ating mga cats or dogs.
Oh my God. Yan, dyan tayo mag-aaway kung walang pakiramdam.
Yeah. Is it true?
Definitely false, okay, na walang pakiramdam. Definitely. They're like our babies.
Correct.
Mind you, they are our babies. Like, a good example is mainit ang panahon. Where do you, saan natin nakikita yung mga alaga natin? Doon sa loob ng banyo.
Or nasa kwarto natin.
Correct.
Diba? Nakiki-aircon.
Lalo na yung summer heights.
Correct.
Kadalasan, itong mga previous months during the burr months, yung mga 4 kong makukulit na pusa, pag sinabi naming akyat na, magpahabulan pa kami.
Yeah.
At iikot-ikot mo lang, magpapahabol pa. Pero ngayon, pag sinabi namin upstairs, nauuna na kasi alam nila bubuksan ng
It's
aircon.
because they feel something, no? So animals have feelings. So whoever is saying is that animals have no feelings, baka puntahan kita dyan at makurot kita. Tingnan natin kung mararamdaman mo yung sakit na nararamdaman din ng mga aso, pusa, at kung anumang hayop pag kinurot natin sila.
Yes, and the same reason po na New Year's, palagi natin sinasabi na be careful with their pets kasi yung hearing nila is like...
Oh, yes. And yeah, correct. No?
The sound that we hear, so yung paputok, masakit na sa tenga natin.
That's
10 times amplify yung sound na yun.
And may namamatay dyan, Doc Ray, di ba? Diyan sa mga paputok yan, just because of that noise, no? It traumatizes the...
Leads into hysteria.
Yes, exactly.
Tumatakas sa lang confusion.
Yeah.
Naghahanap sila ng safety space and in that process, nawawala sila.
Correct. And nagsasagatan.
Correct. I mean, the worst part, yes.
I think this is going to be my last true or false question, no? Kaya nga, as a veterinarian, no, what can you say about the performance of euthanasia? True or false? Ito ba ang pinakamahirap na aspeto ng isang veterinary practice?
Nalupa kami na manggamot.
Make sense?
Right? So, if we recommend euthanasia, that is because we are defeated. Wala na kaming nakikitang practical solution or alternative solution. Hindi naman siya i-recommend just because sumuko na kami, but it's because it's the wise thing to do. And if you think madali para sa amin yon,
no. How do you respond to pet owners who would bring their pets to you who are geriatric, right, but still healthy?
Two things yan nandiyan kasi yung quality of life.
Oh, okay.
We wish, meron tayong algorithm. So for my practice, we follow an algorithm. We have a set of questions to evaluate the quality of life. So palagi namin tinatanong yun, and then self-reflecting kami, compromise na ba yung quality of life? Kasi yun yung basihan namin to push for euthanasia. But kung ang dahilan lang is matandaan na siya, pero the dog is still eating, the dog does not exhibit signs of pain and discomfort, the dog is still willing to cooperate with medications, you have to weigh in also kasi baka nahirapan na rin si pet owner.
So baka may mental health issue na rin sa pet
owner. Kasi si pet owner, nahirapan siya, nakikita niya na dahan-dahan nag-deteriorate yung pet niya.
Yan.
So, two things yun palagi for me kasi it's not just about animal welfare lang, but also there's a human welfare component.
speaking of human welfare components, sabi ko huli ko ng question, ano? Pero hindi naman ito true or false, no? So true or false pala na kung ang pagpe-perform ng euthanasia is one of the most difficult
It is
part.
definitely. It's never easy.
Okay.
Sometimes iniiyakan pa namin.
Oh,
Basta
yeah.
wala kami umiiyak sa client eh.
Ayun, actually, yun yung next question ko, Doc, no? Kasi parang, how does or what does a vet feel when it performs euthanasia? And what do you do to ano ba tawag dito? To remove yourself from that whatever emotion?
Kaya right now, globally, there is an increasing suicide rates.
Yes.
For
veterinarians. Yep.
It's because of the emotional burden, lalo na dito sa weighing in of euthanasia. To be asked to perform euthanasia na hindi siya decision ni vet or hindi ni recommendation ni vet. Yung tipong, we're living out of the country and I don't believe na merong pwedeng mag-provide sa kanilang love. So, can you please euthanize my...
Oh my God, may gano'n.
I'm here on that aspect. We've had several of those and we decline.
All right. I don't want to ask you this question, Doc Ray, pero I think it's a necessary question. Have you performed euthanasia yourself?
I do. I recommend euthanasia, but as I've said,
that there's that difficult weighing, no?
If the clients or the pet owners think that it's so callous for us to make that recommendation, but as an animal welfare advocate, I use that, plug, or I use
Because
that.
you think of the welfare of the animals.
When the compromise ng quality of life ng pet. For instance, hindi siya nakakakain.
Yeah.
Hindi na siya nakakatayo. Syringe fed na siya for several weeks, months. Pumapayat na siya. So, what is the quality of life? What is the reassurance na makakatayo pa siya ulit, makakalakad at makakain siya mag-isa? Okay. So, yun yung mga weighing in natin. And alaga mo siya since puppy.
Yeah.
Ikaw yung nagpalaki. Ikaw yung nagbakuna.
Ang hirap no to.
Yun yung difficult part.
Doc Ray, no? Mayroon pa ako yung dami ko talagang tanong. Walang katapusan. Sabi niyo ko na kanina, last night. So sorry ba? Fickle-minded ako. Sabay ganun. But true or false, Doc Ray, no? We need the pounds.
No.
Really?
No.
Please tell us why.
Impounding is not the solution. And in communities sa walang pound or in the LG sa walang pound, palagi ko sinasabi when I was in the international work, hindi necessary.
Okay. I agree with you.
Ang importante is we change the human behavior. Let's go down. Let's go grassroots. Magbuhin natin yung kaugalian. I-correct natin. Kasi ang nangyayari kasi is nakasanayan. So, pag nabago natin yung nakasanayan, walang ansong nasa kalye.
Tama, no? It is a policy for dogs or mga na-impound na sila ay euthanasia. I'm asking you this question so that the public may know, no, that impounding and euthanasia in pounds, of course, legally is allowed.
Yes.
But we are talking about what's also the impact of this to the veterinarians. Kasi, alam mo, nakaka-receive ako ng napakaraming messages, these veterinarians are evil. They're killing, pinapatay nila yung mga hayop sa pound. So, I'd like to hear the perspective naman of a veterinarian like you. Yun, ilalagay natin yung sitwasyon mo naman sa isang impounding or the need to put dogs in to sleep because of the impounding policy. Hirap ba ito?
Mahirap yung tanong na yan. I have to be weighing in as a government vet and as an animal welfare advocate. So first, we have the rabies law, and
But I want to know, kasi I want to humanize the vets there na, are you evil or are they evil in putting all these dogs down just because?
Okay, let's go back. I think before I answer that question, I think is balikan natin. Wala kaming papatayin kung walang pabayang
Pet owner.
na hinayaan yung aso nilang pag-alagala sa kalye. And unless we see a better solution in curbing down the increasing roaming population, hindi matatapos yung the demand
To impound.
A good example right now, I think I would be fair to talk about this naman. Camiguin is a very prime tourist destination and the number one mode of transport kasi the island is so small, right?
Yeah.
And you go around the island in half day.
Wow. I haven't been there, but
We should go.
you should go there.
Kaya mo siya ikutan half day through a single motorbike. Kaya ang mga foreigners, they love to go there kasi it offers you like, pinopromote ka tourism, di ba? Kidding aside, you can go around and, there are volcanoes, there's the hot spring, the cold spring, among others. So, ang daming tourists they enjoy that experience. And riding the motorbike. A dog that's roaming and the street biglang tumawid sa kalye.
So it causes
accidents. So they are, they are really compelled to do impounding, not because of rabies, but because of public safety.
Kaya importante, no, I think, Doc Ray, that parang let's not put the blame to the pound or the impounding.
Let's not demonize the vets working for the government, because we are mandated by law not just to control rabies, but also to protect the public.
Yep.
And if the roaming animals poses threat to public safety, yun lang yung recourse na nakikita natin right now. But as I've said kanina, wala kaming papatayin kung walang pabayang pet owner.
Yan, tatandaan natin yan.
Hindi nyo kaya ang nakalabas mag-isa or pakalat-kalat sa kalye, wala kami huhuli.
Correct. So tandaan po natin yan, guys, na the road, to animal welfare, the road to stray population or roaming dog population control, hindi po yan matatapos sa impounding. It's not gonna be easy, but I think tama yung sinasabi ni Doc Ray, it involves the community to be a responsible pet owner.
And this is what we would see sa human behavior.
And yes, correct. Diba? No, kasi Animal Kingdom Foundation would have, as part of its excellence or Center for Excellence, ay magkakaroon po tayo mga activities and learnings or lessons and courses on human behavior change. So, tabayanan po natin yan. Pakaganda po insights niyan, na shinare ni Doc Ray. So, I think, ang dami nating talagang natutunan ngayong araw na to. Ang dami nating pwedeng pag-usapan, Doc Ray. I think we can take forever. But, because we have been given a limited time for this, now, we would like to thank you. We would like to thank Dr. Ray Del Napoles for guesting, for joining us in today's episode of Autalks. So, again, Dr. Ray, any other message that you would want to impart our listening public?
Be a part of this wonderful journey in animal welfare. Irrespective of who you are, maging veterinaryo ka man, estudyante, at kung sino man, you can do so many things. You can affect change in your simple ways. But of course, volunteer po kayo sa Animal Kingdom Foundation, and that's where the fun starts.
Yay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doc Ray. I hope we will be able to invite you again in the coming episodes of Autalks.
That pleasure has always been mine and will always be.
Thank you so much. Huh.